show tonight. My man Mike LeBlanc's got to take care of some issues that is happening in his city, in his hometown. They're looting. Imagine that. They are looting in Mike LeBlanc's hometown right now. So, Mike, hopefully everything is going well for you over there, my man. And quite frankly, I am really not sitting well with this whole looting and rioting thing. I'm all for the protest. Do not get that twisted one little bit. All for the protest. But the looting and rioting, what is that solving? Here in Louisville, Kentucky, they burned down a black business, a seafood restaurant that I really, really loved, the Dino's. And they burned it down. Why? Because they weren't happy. So, like, honestly, like, at this point in time, looting and rioting, just get over it. But today we're going to talk some sports, guys. Like I said, I'm flying solo dolo here. Michael Buckcasher here, live, raw, and uncut sports talk. If you're listening from Charm City Direct TV, welcome to Just for Clicks, guys, our newest affiliate there. So if you are watching from that page, let us know in the comments. Give us a hashtag Charm City in the comments below. Also, guys, the phone lines are going to be open all night tonight. So if you are interested in calling into the show, 502-804-1268 is the number to call in. I have my cell phone right here ready for you guys whenever you are ready to call into the show and, basically let us have a good debate on the phone lines here. But first things first, we got to get into what is on Mike's mind.
And now, Mike's thoughts.
So if you guys are new here, Mike LeBlanc normally does Mike's thoughts here, but I am going to be on Mike's thoughts today. Let me pull up what I had earlier here, and of course it has gone away. But when we normally do what's on Mike's mind or whatnot, we go to the trending topics here on the Twitter machine. And, obviously the Black Lives Matter is number one by any means. But then I was scrolling through there, and I saw hashtag delete Facebook now. And I'm like, what in the world are they talking about? So I've been living under a rock. I've been totally distancing myself from everything that is happening and whatnot. I'm tired of hearing about it, but I was intrigued about this. So basically, what is happening right now? I'm looking for the article right here. Here it is. Let me pull out the image right here real quick. Maybe there it is. So a Facebook employee has resigned from Facebook here. Basically, this is what he said. For years, President Trump has enjoined the expectations to Facebook's community standards over and over from his past arrogance, basically. So basically what is happening right now is the owner of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, it's basically letting Trump air his stuff out on Facebook, and it is going against community standards and whatnot. So he is definitely not happy. He has resigned. And it's kind of funny that he posted all this stuff on Facebook. But right now, hashtag delete Facebook is trending on Twitter. Imagine that. But, let's be honest. Facebook runs the world. It's not going to happen. So, sorry, Timothy Aveni. We're not going to delete Facebook at the end of the day. Sorry. That's what it comes down to. All right, guys, so that is what is on my mind today so far here. And I was a little rough with that, wasn't I? A little raw. I should have prepped that myself a little bit more, but Mike LeBlanc normally does a great job here. But we are going to go ahead and jump over into probably one of the best segments that we have on the show right here, and it is called What The? And my first what the of the day is the NBA. What the is going on with this 22-team system that they have going on, or that they think that is going to go on here in the upcoming months here. So basically what they're opposing to do here is they're voting on that today or tomorrow, actually, if I'm not mistaken, is basically they want a 16-team playoff going into the NBA playoffs, but they're going to allow the 22 teams that have an opportunity to make that eighth and final playoff spot. So from the 16, whatever that is, my math isn't great. So the extra 6 teams or whatever it is, that to gain that opportunity to gain that eighth spot in the playoffs. First things first is, why not? You're only cutting out 8 teams. Why just not let all 30 teams play some regular season games, get valuable experience? There are teams that come to mind, like the Atlanta Hawks, that they need game reps to improve. Atlanta Hawks, they're going to be great. They have a great young core. Trae Young leading the way. Some other names. I'm not an NBA connoisseur by any means, but on that? Just allow all 30 teams to even have a shot at the playoffs. And what the number 2 of the day is, we're going to stick with the NBA here. Quite frankly, I'm fed up with the NBA. The finals should have already been here. We cannot blame them for COVID, or this COVID, air quotes there, fake COVID-19 here. But they want to basically have the finals finished by October 12th. Okay, awesome. That is in the middle of football season. How many people on this page right now are going to watch the NBA finals over an NFL football game? I'll say probably 10%, because I reach out to majority of the NFL fans, because we are basically a NFL show right now. But the NBA, are you guys mad that the NFL is playing games on Christmas Day when the Christmas Day is historically a basketball holiday? Like, the NFL has Thanksgiving and then the NBA has Christmas. Like, are you guys mad that that Christmas falls on a Sunday this year? Like, I'm asking for a friend. Is the NBA mad about that? I mean, come on. NBA trying to rival the NFL by going into October, not going to happen. Ultimate fail. And what the number 3? There's officially 100 days till the NFL season if you're watching this live. And there are starting to be questions come up, and are we going to start on time? Are there room? Is there enough time for off season training? Is there enough time for new players, rookies, to get a chance to get into the NFL shape and whatnot? The answer to that question is, if you cannot get into shape in 90 days, something is wrong. If you cannot get into shape into 100 days, something is wrong. NFL better start on time, or I'm going to be one pissed off mofo. I've been looking for September 10th since they released the Kansas City Chiefs versus Houston game, a month ago, like at this point. NFL, you better start on time, or I'm going to give you the ultimate what the. What the number 4? Hannah Brown from The Bachelor. If you guys do not watch The Bachelor, you are missing out. I absolutely love The Bachelor and Bachelorette. It is basically far-fetched reality sucked into our lives or whatever. And honestly, it is just like a freaking car wreck. I can never look away. I always have to see which girl is going to cry next, which guy is going to cock block each other next. It is very, very intriguing to me for some reason. Me and my wife sit down and watch it all the time, and I don't know. It is what it is at the end of the day. But Hannah Brown was on TikTok. If you guys don't know what TikTok is, it's basically Snapchat. Exactly what it is. TikTok ripped off Snapchat in the end. But I digress on that a little bit. Pew, die bug. So Hannah Brown was singing that song, "The Baby," or it is by the Baby. Let me get the proper name for it, because we've been playing it on our show for you guys. It is called a lot of download songs here recently. Rockstar by Rockstar by the Baby. And in that song they use the N-word. If you guys don't know what the N-word is, then you're living under a rock. But I digress. So on TikTok or Instagram or something, I don't even remember what it was one. But Hannah Bree was singing the song, and in the song they say the N-word. She is being raked over the coals by saying the N-word. If anybody has never said the N-word, or that you have that you're going to say you've never said the N word, and like while singing a song in your car, I'm going to call you a bold-faced liar to your face, because you are. I rap the songs in the car thinking I'm Mr. Jay-Z or Tech Nine all the time. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, it was not in a derogatory term whatsoever. So get off the girl's back. Hannah Brown, you're okay. You're still socks, eh? And for the final what the of the day, the New York Knickerbockers. Guys, New York Knickerbockers just need to burn up. They need to set the... You guys need to go loot and riot the New York Knicks. Just the organization as a whole. They'll just burn the whole place down, right? But obviously George Floyd, the Breonna thing, is all pretty much running the world right now. Taking over the news. Knicks ownership issued out a email to their employees and staff members saying that there will be no public statement coming from the New York Knicks. Okay, I can respect that. Say, hey, we aren't going to say anything. We want to distance ourselves, yada yada yada. But why say that? Why say that? You have big names that have not said anything. You haven't heard anything from Oprah. You haven't heard anything from Jay-Z. You haven't heard anything from Drake. You haven't heard anything from Eminem. Whoever. Like, you haven't heard anything from these people, but they aren't issuing statements saying that they're not going to say anything. Silence is probably key there, New York Knicks. I don't even know their owner's name anymore. Some Russian dude. But at the end of the day, you didn't have to say anything, or you could have simply said a three-sentence paragraph tie thing, like most people are saying. Yes, we are aware of the racial injustice and tension that is going on, and we support those that are out there. Simple as that. That's all you had to say, guys. All you had to say. But they didn't, did they? They had to go on and shoot themselves in the foot. New York Knicks, Ultima, what the? And that is what the for the day, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed that segment. That is one of mine and Mike's most favorite segments to do. But we're going to take a quick little commercial break here. Join us after the break. I'm going to tell you why Deshaun Watson is better off without DeAndre Hopkins in the end. Take us right after the break.
Me for what you need. I'll need a credit card that's got no limit and a big black chain with a bedroom in it. Gonna join the Mile High Club at 37,000 feet. Been done. I want a new tour bus full of old guitars. Mine star on
And my bad. We were on mute there, but so let me go ahead and restate whatever I just said there. Guys, welcome back to Just for Clicks. My name is Michael Buckheiser, live, raw, and uncut sports talk here, flying solo dolo today. And if you are listening to us on Charm City Direct TV, welcome. Put us in the comments, hashtag Charm City, so we know where you are coming from. If you're listening to us on iTunes form, consider subscribing to that podcast and leaving a ranking as well. If you're listening to us on the YouTube page or Facebook page, subscribe to those pages and share us with a couple friends as well. But as always, we are on the rtfsportsnetwork.com digital platforms on the noon edition East Coast time and coming to Roku TV here in the next couple weeks. But let's go ahead and get into the bulk of the show, guys. Like I said, the phone lines are open, 502-804-1268. Feel free to call in anytime you want to. We can talk about anything you want, as long as it's not racially unjustified in the end. Because I don't want to talk about the riots. I don't want to talk about anything. We're going to stick to sports moving on here. So, Mike LeBlanc was supposed to be on here tonight, and he was going to tell me why Deshaun Watson was going to be a shell of himself moving forward. Basically, a trash quarterback moving forward. And Mike LeBlanc, I'm here to tell you otherwise. Deshaun Watson is going to have just as good a season as he had in the past. You want to know why? Because Hopkins did not make or break Deshaun Watson in the end. Deshaun Watson is a quarterback that can go to any team and win. He is guaranteed almost 6 to 7 wins all by himself. Hopkins, not that type of guy. He cannot put you over that Super Bowl threshold. He cannot get you that playoff win. He cannot get you whatever you want. You know, like, you understand what I'm saying here? Watson can put the team on his back, much like Lamar Jackson does in the regular season here. He hasn't had to do that because he's had a killer defense. He's had excellent wide receivers. Am I saying DeAndre Hopkins is a horrible receiver? No, I'm not. He is definitely a top 5 receiver. However, he's wearing his 9th season or so. So now let me give you some stats and facts of why he will be just fine. Do you want to know why? Because Deshaun Watson made Hopkins better in the end. Look at his stats before Deshaun Watson got there in 2017, I believe is when his first season was. Hopkins was having about 900 yards seasons. If you average it out, 800 yards was kind of a low average, and 1100 was a high average. He had a couple outliers here or there. One season he only had like 400 yards catching. The next one he had like 1200. So I mean, if you do the box and whisker things, those are the outliers. So the median was right about 900 yards a season before Watson got there. Once Watson got there, instantly improvement. 1,500-yard seasons that Hopkins was having. Watson was improving Hopkins' play almost double year in and year out. So Deshaun Watson is going to be just fine without Hopkins. They still have a pretty good array of receivers there. They have Randall Cobb now. I think Randall Cobb could have one of his best seasons moving forward. They still have Fuller the fifth. Very, very young kid from out of Notre Dame, I believe he was. And so, and they just signed Brandon Cooks as well. Guys, honestly, I'm going to take a young Brandon Cooks, a young Fuller over DeAndre Hopkins any day. DeAndre Hopkins is in his 9th or 10th season. I can't remember it for sure off the top of my head. But these young receivers with a young quarterback, time to grow, people. Time to grow. Time to really spread the wings and fly. So, Mike LeBlanc, if you are listening right now, I'm going to tell you this. Deshaun Watson is going to be just fine, my man. There is going to be no worries in the world about him falling off this season. The only worries that I have about the Houston Texans is in the end is if what's his face, J.J. Watt can stay healthy. That is the only problem that I see with the Houston Texans year in and year out. The offense is going to be fine. Deshaun Watson is going to be fine. Him and Fuller are going to have a great connection. Randall Cobb is going to come out of the ashes and kind of revive his career since he left Green Bay. He kind of had a flunky season in Dallas because they couldn't quite use him correctly. I'm going to say that. And Brandon Cooks going to rise from the ashes as well. Just give them the Houston Phoenixes because they're all going to rise from the ashes. I see in the comments here. Let me go ahead and read this comment here. Houston is going to be disappointment like crazy, and Watson won't be a Texan much longer. So Dylan Moran, shout out to your show on and off the field, guys. You guys are new to RTFs. They are on Thursday, I believe, at 2 p.m. or 2:30. I can't remember for sure. So Dylan, correct me if I'm wrong. But with that being said, it would not surprise me if Deshaun Watson does demand a trade. I know he was upset when they did up and trade the top receiver without conversing with anybody, all because he asked for more money. I get that. I would be upset as well. But look at those other weapons that he still has. Like I said, I'm going to drop the names again. You got Fuller, and you got Cooks, and then you have Randall Cobb. Those that could be a trio that could be the biggest sleeper in the NFL. Think about that. You have a young Watson, a great arm, great scrambling ability, and a guy that just knows how to win. He has lost 13 games in the NFL in his whole career. That has like tripled the amount of losses that he has in college and high school and elementary. This kid's a winner. He is going to be fine. If he gets traded, or if he, quote, demands a trade from Houston, it is because of what's his name? Their coach, Bill O'Brien. Because Bill O'Brien has to be the worst general manager / coach / whatever else you want to call him in the whole entire league. If Bill O'Brien wasn't in Houston, they could have 2 Super Bowls. Let that sink in. If Bill O'Brien was not the general manager and coach and special teams coordinator and travel agent and whatever else he has there, they could have probably won two Super Bowls with Deshaun Watson. He is a playoff bust coach. He is the Lamar Jackson in the playoffs as it is the coaching. That's just what it comes down to. Getting a text in here from a guy. Deshaun Watson wouldn't start on any other team. Okay, anonymous texter, you are absolutely smoking crack. The only team that Deshaun Watson wouldn't start on, if he were to go to any other team, would be the Kansas City Chiefs, because Patrick Mahomes can start on any team. That's flat out. I guarantee you, if Deshaun Watson says, I want to go to Tampa Bay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to start him over Tom Brady. Let that sink in. Let me repeat that. If Deshaun Watson says, I want to go to Tampa Bay, and they trade him, he is going to start over Tom Brady. That's how much faith I have in Deshaun Watson. If he wants to go to Seattle, hear this out, Dylan. Right here, Dylan is a Seattle fan. If Deshaun Watson wants to go to Seattle, I would start Deshaun Watson over Russell Westbrook or Russell Wilson. I would, in a heartbeat. The only team Deshaun Watson doesn't start on is the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is because they arguably have the best quarterback in the league. Arguably. So, for you, Mr. Dylan Moran, to say that Houston is going to be a big disappointment and Watson won't be a Texan much longer, you might be correct on the not being a Texan much longer, but that's because of the coaching staff. That is because of his GM. That is not because of his playing ability by any means. Deshaun Watson is a top 5 quarterback in this league with or without DeAndre Hopkins. Let that sink in. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to Just for Quick. That was a quick little break here. Catch my breath, get a little drink, and it is time to break down the schedule of the 2020 Houston Texans. So before we get into it too far, let's go ahead and look what they did in the draft this season. As obviously stated before, DeAndre Hopkins is no longer with the Houston Texans. He was traded to the Arizona Cardinals for a 7th-round running back. Horrible trade. Great job, Bill O'Brien. This is why you are the worst coach in the NFL right now. So looking what they did in the draft this season, they did not have a first-round draft pick. So their first pick was in the 2nd round, 8th pick in the 2nd round, Ross Blacklock, a defensive tackle from TCU. I got to see this guy play in person. He is a game wrecker. So I definitely like that addition to that front 7 there, along with J.J. Watt. He is a pretty decent player. Jonathan Greenard, an outside linebacker from Florida, is going to fit pretty good in that 3-4 system. I could definitely see him being a stand-up defensive end, definitely walking up a lot. So clearly they went defense 3 out of their 5 picks, and they picked a offensive tackle, Charlie Heck from North Carolina. Do not know a lot about him, but this Isaiah Cutler guy, Rhode Island receiver, this guy, you need to put an asterisk by this guy, along with Randall Cobb, Fuller, and then you have Brandon Cook as well. I see this guy learning the ropes, learning how to be a receiver really freaking fast. Could be really, really good, really, really dangerous, almost like a Tyreek Hill type of player. However, he is 6'2", so he is a little bit taller than Tyreek Hill, obviously. But look at his 40-yard dash time, guys. I believe he ran a 4.4 or a 4.3 in the combine. So definitely do not let him get out in the open field. A lot of screens to this guy while having deep threats down the field with Fuller. I could definitely see the Houston Texans being a high-powered offense this season. So let's go ahead and break it down. Week number 1, they travel to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, if you guys have been listening to the show at all, I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game. Chiefs they're historically very, very good at Arrowhead. However, the last couple of seasons, they have more losses at home than they do wins, which is or more losses at home than they do on the road, I should say, which is kind of nerve-wracking to me. But opening game of the NFL, September 10th, Thursday night, this crowd is going to be crazy. They're going to be lit. They're going to be drinking since Tuesday. Take the L. Houston Texans, take the L. Moving on to the next week, they're at home, taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Wow, this game is intriguing with Watson versus Lamar. What is going to happen? What is going to happen? What is going to happen? Lamar Jackson is probably going to show up and have a decent game. Deshaun Watson is going to have a better game, I think. Houston Texans win at home, giving them 1-1 on the season. Next week, they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. 1 o'clock game on CBS. Steelers, I don't know where the Steelers are going to be yet. Is Ben Roethlisberger 100% healthy? I've seen it look like he's slimmed down a little bit. It looks like he has, he still has that arm strength. But anybody that looks good in shorts and a T-shirt throwing against grass, right? I'm concerned about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I am concerned. So I am going to take the Houston Texans to beat the Steelers at home. That's a dub. Moving on to the next week, they're at home, taking on the Minnesota Vikings. I should probably get out my pen and piece of paper to write down what I have here so far, just in case I forget. Right now, we have them going 2-1 so far on the seasons, with win over the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers. Week 4, they're at home, take on the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know. The Vikings are I think they're going to not be very good this season. 7-9, 8-8 type of record. We haven't broke down their schedule yet by any means. Give me the dub. Moving on the next week, Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a dub. Do we need to talk about it? Let me play again. That's a dub. That's a dub. That's a dub. Jacksonville Jaguars are complete trash right now. We don't know whether they're coming or going. Gardner Minshew, I don't think, is the answer in Jacksonville whatsoever. Starting off the season 4-1. Next week, they travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans, a division game. Wow. Give me the Titans. I don't know why. It is a division game. Titans are at home. They're probably still riding high off of their playoff push last year, losing in the AFC championship game to the Kansas City Chiefs. Take the L. But yeah, definitely take the L on that one. Next week, we have Aaron Rodgers versus Deshaun Watson at home. Yesterday, I did pick the Houston Texans to win this game, and I'm going to follow suit, giving them 5-2 going into the bye week here. Week number 9, they're on the road, taking on Jacksonville Jaguars again, a division game. Like I said, Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm not sure whether they're coming or going. I'm going to take a word from Mike LeBlanc and say they're a dumpster fire. Gardner Minshew definitely isn't the answer in the end. I don't know why they traded away Nick Foles for Gardner Minshew, but It is what it is. But for some reason, I had them losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Take the L. Next week, they're back on the road again to take on the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield, or is it going to be Case Keenum? We don't know who their quarterback is going to be. Baker Mayfield is slated to be the starter, but there's a reason why they brought in Case Keenum. Baker Mayfield's going to be looking over his shoulder consistently, but I do have the Browns winning this game. I think Baker Mayfield goes off 4 touchdowns. Odell Beckham Jr. has a great game, two or three touchdowns himself, giving him 5-4 to start the season. Take the L. Moving on to the next week. This is a Sunday night game, or a Sunday afternoon game, taking on the Patriots. Give me the Texans. I gotta know that I think the Patriots are, like, I hate to say it again, but they're an 8-8 team. Stidham is still trying to find his groove here come week 11. Everything is starting to click for him. The game's starting to move a little bit slower, but he just isn't quite there yet. So give me the Texans. That's a dub. Next week, this is a Thanksgiving game at Detroit. Detroit wins. Detroit Lions are a sleeper, 100%. 100%.
And now, Mike's.
Pushed the wrong button there, guys. My bad. Opening up in December here. This is where season gets interesting. Back-to-back games versus the Colts, more or less. At home versus the Colts, they do win 7-5 right now. All right, so next week they travel to Soldier Field to take on the Bears. I've been going back and forth on this game, very, very much so. It is going to be cold in December in Chicago. The Bears are not going to be very good. 3-13, 2-14. We break them down next week. Tune into that. But for some reason, I'm taking the Bears. I'm taking the Bears because Houston, a dome team, going to Soldier Field in December, not very good. Take the L. Next week, they're on the road again, taking on the Colts. Like I said, I hate these back-to-back games. I mean, we have 17 weeks to play 2 teams. Why do you got to put them back-to-back games? But this could be for the division. I already had them beating the Colts at home, but I had them losing to the Colts on the road. Phillip Rivers is going to have the Colts in the right direction come this point of season, making them 7-7 on the season so far. Ugh. Take the L. Next week, last game in December, taking on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. That is a dub, 100%. Sorry, Joe Burrow, you're not going to go into Houston with the playoffs on the line in December and try to beat Deshaun Watson. Not going to happen. That's a dub. Moving on to the final game of the season at home, taking on the Tennessee Titans. This game could be a make or break for the Houston Texans. I have them at 8-7 right now. I don't think 8-8 gets them into the playoffs. I just don't think it happens. I think they're battling Tennessee right now for a wild card spot. They are fighting back and forth. Tennessee is not going to go to Houston and run all over J.J. Watt in that defense. Not going to happen. That's a dub. That is a dub for the Houston Texans, making them 9-7 on the season. 9-7. Respectable? Yes. Improvement from last year? No. Last year they were 10-6, I do believe. Now, let's circle those games on the schedule that is going to be make or break. Obviously, December 6th, 13th, and 20th are big games. They play the Colts twice and they play the Bears. Now, if they can win 2 out of 3 games in that stretch, they are a playoff-bound team. If they go 1-3, like I think they will, 1-2 in that stretch, like I think they will, they might miss the playoffs. If they can beat the Colts once, split with the Colts, and beat the Bears, I think they are in the playoffs 100%. No question about it. Now, if they do what I think they're going to do, they have to sweep the Tennessee Titans. They have to beat them in Week 6 at Tennessee, and they have to beat them the last game of the season. at home. No doubt about it. So I do have them going 9-7. I don't have my playoff predictor in front of me right now, but I say they're in as a wild card, but probably losing in the first round and the playoffs. That's just what it comes down to. Sorry, guys.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning.
And it is time for the 2-minute warning. We have been talking about the N-word. We've been talking about George Floyd. 100 days till NFL season. My final thoughts for the day. Major League Baseball. America's pastime. We're not going to get to see it in 2020, are we? We're not going to get to see Major League Baseball in 2020 because some bitchy-ass millionaires are fighting over $3 million. That's what it comes down to. Players want all their money. They want all their money for 160 or 182 game season. 162 game season. They want all the money. Not going to happen. There have been people that have been laid off since March. When they go back to work, are they going to get all that back pay? No. They're not. So why does Major League Baseball players deserve all that back pay? It's Major League Baseball. Pull your heads out of your ass. I need some baseball in my life. I need to see my Kansas City Royals play. I need to see those baby Blues. I need to see the gold on Fridays. I need to see them lose 100 games again this season. Let's be honest. Major League Baseball, pull your head out of your asses. Just bite the bullet. You're not going to make your $28 million this season. You're only going to make 14. Oh, boo fucking who, right? Sweet Jesus. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, please help Major League Baseball players not be so fucking greedy. That's all we ask. Stop being so greedy. Stop being stubborn. And just play baseball. Play the game that you've been playing since you were 6 for free. Understand that fans like myself like to see baseball. We like to see baseball. We don't want to see a bunch of bitchy millionaires and fighting over money. It's stupid. It is stupid. I'm disappointed to be a baseball fan. Bring on the NFL. That's all I gotta say. We out. Hey guys, that is going to be it for Just a Click tonight. We're cutting it a little short here. Flying solo, Mike LeBlanc. Be safe out there. Protect your neighborhood. Protect your house. Guys, stop looting and rioting neighborhoods. I don't care if it's white neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, Mexican red. It's just stop. It's stupid. It's stop. Mike, be safe out there, my man. Hopefully, everybody gets out okay, gets safe and whatnot. As always, guys, rtsportsnetwork.com. Shout out to Charm City Direct TV for having us on. Just for Click's Facebook page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And if you have missed any part of tonight's show, go over to iTunes or Spotify if you're an Android user. Check us out. Just for Clicks. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. Get notification when we upload a new episode every day. Monday through Friday. As always, guys, have a great night. Catch you next time. Right here on RTS Sports Network.